Get a Job in Tech, episode 203. In IT, when you get a job in IT or get a job in tech, maybe you're a help desk admin, sysadmin. Let's just call help desk admin. What you're going to find is you're in a group of individuals. Maybe you work from home. Maybe you're in the office. Now, if you work in the office, you're really going to see this up close and personal. You're really going to know it. Meaning, not everybody in tech, when they go home, they leave work at work. They don't have any idea, or let's call it 0 to 100, let's say 0 to 100% of wanting to learn more. If they're not pressed to do it, they think their job is secure, then most people in tech they're fine. They're not going to do more at home. I would say let's say the 25%, let's say, like, they put off of work, they put a 25% in effort to learn, let's say. And you're really going to see that when you're in the office. You're really going to know that. And that's fine. As long as, now, if you're the type of person that you want to learn and you want to get better and you don't want to be at help desk for 10 years, then keep that to yourself. I will say that. I have an individual, a guy I know, who he worked. So I'll tell you a story. He goes to work for another company, and he's telling me he doesn't understand why they do the things they do, why they're buying the stores they're buying, and he doesn't understand it. He doesn't get it, why they're not being more efficient, essentially. And he asked, obviously, he sought my advice, my opinion, more so my opinion, really, my opinion. And I was in position to give him my opinion. My opinion is this, and I'll tell you the same thing. You have to know the company you're in. You have to know where you're at, the work you're at. Now, if everybody's there and they're not saying anything about upgrading or making things efficient, then, and you're new, don't say anything. Leave it alone. If they want it to be better, they would do something about it. I promise you that. Because you don't know the people that work there. You don't know if it's what is the word? It's some individuals in IT want to just maintain the status quo, meaning they just want to be working there, fine, 9 to 5 or whatever their hours are, not looking to make things better. The company said do this, they're going to do it. Essentially, they have what I'll say is a worker bee mentality, which is fine because you need a job, right? And because you don't know if they were like you before and someone had slapped their hand and said, don't do it that way. So they said, okay, in order to maintain peace in their job, they just go along to get along is the term I think I'd use for that. Go along to get along. And you come in and you want to change everything. So my opinion was, leave it alone. If you want to learn that stuff on your own on after hours, or you want to figure out how to do it after hours, do it after hours, after work. Don't do it at work, and don't be the individual, because it's temporary. You could be in a position where they could point the finger at you for doing something. Now, sometimes you're looked at as a threat, essentially. There is I believe it's an old TV show. Now, in this TV show, this is a prime example, an old TV show. So in comes this college graduate who is, he's just a fresh college graduate, and he goes to a bakery. And there's a person working there who's worked there at a bakery for a number of years. And so the college graduate's like, yeah, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to make it better, more efficient, which may be accurately true 100%. However, the other individual who's worked there a couple years, he he looks at that person as a threat. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a person from college graduate. It could be anybody. It could be anybody new, really, who's maybe just out of high school and they come and they work in this bakery. Maybe they make the same amount of money as a person working there 5 or 6 years. And now they could feel a certain way about that. Why is this new person coming in? They're making almost as much as me. That's not fair. And now they're starting to talk about how to make it better. You could see how that could you could see how that could make someone feel a certain way about being threatened about their job. Essentially, they look at it as a threat. And if you don't own the company, then that's none of your business. You're just there to work. Period. Plain and simple. Now, take that in IT. At work in IT, you're there to work. You're there to do the best job you can. But if you notice the corporate environment, your coworkers are not really doing things efficiently, just pushing the button, going in 9 to 5, etc. You have a couple different choices. You can either stay there and you could just go with the flow, or you can make yourself better for a future position. And I would say make yourself better for the future position, because after a while, when companies start to realize they can make things more efficient, because what happens is it's top down. The leadership says, they want to save money doing X, Y, Z, and they want to reduce costs. So now they look at ways to do that. Now, if they're in IT, there's a couple things they can do. Some not, some yes. But they're going to look at how they can save money. And if you're efficient and you have another side skill on the side that you've acquired since you've worked in an IT place, you have leverage now to go somewhere else. Whereas the other individuals are just there 10 years. I mean, you don't want to be the person waking up 10 years later and saying, where did the time go? Where did 10 years go? How am I in a position where life just passed me by, where you're seeing everybody make $200,000, $300,000 a year, and you're still making $100,000 a year? What happened? What did I miss out on? How did I miss this, essentially? Well, because if you're not in the game, if you're not playing the game, then the game is playing you. If you're not in learning every day, developing your skills every day, you can wake up 10 years later and be in the same job. Now, this is IT. Now, just take that in and say to yourself, if you need some leverage or you need something to get you up and going to get a job in IT, because that's what this podcast is about, get a job in IT. Think of yourself where you're at now. Do you like the job you're at? In 10 years from now, are you going to be in the same job? Who knows? You could make it more money, 3%, 5% more. Let's say maybe now you make 20 an hour. In 10 years, you could make 30 an hour. And you could have more vacation days. Are you really going to be happy with that? Are you going to stay in the same town, live in the same area? Is that fulfilling to you? Or do you want to be more free? I'm talking to individuals who work at a job working from home, or not working from home, but work in the office. So they have to go every day to an office. And years, days become months, months become years. And they wake up and 10 years later, they don't know what happened. Where did it go? And now they're trying to play catch up. So now it's 10 years later, they're scrambling to learn. But it's harder to learn now because they don't have the foundational knowledge. They haven't constantly learned and kept themselves up to date. They don't know, and technology passes them by, essentially. So now they're like, well, I'll just stay where I'm at. It's fine. They're missing out on a lot of stuff Now income dictates where they can live. Income dictates their lifestyle, how they spend their leisure time, where they go on vacation, how much vacation days do they take. A lot of things they plan out. And especially if they have a job where they have weird schedule or weird hours, maybe they work 1 week in a month or something like that. Now, planning around that, it's just really chaotic. So it's really like work is their second home, essentially. They work to live. Now factor in they're single. And 10 years later, what is that? They're just going through the motions. Is that a good life? Maybe, yes. Maybe for them. Maybe not. Who knows? Can they go on long vacations? Can they take a month off? Probably not. Can they travel the world for 6 months? Probably not. Because they're stuck in this job that they make $30 an hour and they have to really save a lot. And their lifestyle is such that they're just enough. They're just making enough money. They're like maybe 1 or 2 paychecks behind of being broke, essentially. No money at all in the bank. This is a scary thought. That's a really scary thought. And that's why. So when you hear of IT, get a job in tech, that's really freedom. How can you have freedom of job? If you can get in a job in tech and then you transition into a work from home job, and now you have more freedom. Of course, sometimes you have to go in the office, sometimes not. But if you have a work from home job, as long as you have internet and you have reliable internet, you can work anywhere in the world, essentially. Now, different companies have different regulations that you have to follow, perhaps, but theoretically, you can work anywhere in the world. So what does that mean? It means you have that $30 an hour, take it back. Take it 25 an hour. Now you have a job at 25 an hour, but it's a work from home job. That work from home job now affords you to take those vacations and to go anywhere. And so instead of working same job, $30 an hour, limited vacation opportunities, now you can go for 2 or 3 months because you have this amazing job. You can work from home. As long as you have internet connection, you can go to, let's say, Thailand and pay $18 a day to live in a hotel. Many other places. So give that a thought. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next one.